Thank you for waiting. Martin Gomez, Los Angeles Public Library. And I want to thank all of you for your service to ALA and good luck on the election. My question is for the presidential candidates. And the office of President of ALA is a national office, a national stage, if not international. And I would like to know from each of you what your experience is in operating on a national stage, and in particular, if you have some specific success in working with federal offices, federal office holders. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. I mentioned in my speech that I am a grassroots activist. I've been part of the NYLA, New York Library Association, legislative committee for a long time. I've also, when I was AASL president, hit the ground tracking around Washington, and I've become addicted to it. I can't help but I'm an educator. I have to educate those legislators about what we need for national legislation. So that is, I was beyond on the feet. It's been on the phone and in their offices. Every time I see Emily Sheketoff, it's what's new, what do we need to do next, and we need to pass that information on through grassroots networks. I'm currently on the AASL legislation committee. And I have to say it was as AASL president where I got my most experience traveling around the country, and the farthest was Singapore, and I love that. That was wonderful. And I'll go back there in a minute. But AASL has a plan in place to send you to a minimum of 10 conferences during your 3 years, and it was really more like 25 that I went to in those 3 years, and so I managed to get around the state and see all of the differences and all of the problems that are the same in libraries. And that definitely contributed to the fact that I was willing to run for ALA president, was that I had crossed the country and even the Pacific Ocean to talk about what American libraries are doing and doing right and need to worry about. So thank you.
In my position at the District of Columbia Public Library, even when I was library director, we were under something called the Hatch Act, which meant that we weren't allowed to do much in the way of lobbying or anything on Capitol Hill. It's something that's, I won't go into the details in explaining it. But I had the opportunity to work with Library Legislative Day as a committee chair and work in that environment, and be involved in these issues for many, many years. I'm a real believer that we make our most effective presentations when we can get lay people to talk for us. And so I've done a lot of work behind the scenes since I got to Oregon, of and not being so involved myself, but in fact sending the president of our Friends of the Library group, or our Library Advisory Board president, or someone from those kinds of positions. I think the time I had working in DC, I will tell you that, at one point DC budgets actually went to Congress, and I testified before subcommittees on the district budget, so I've had some experience in doing that. But I would say that my experience in working for legislative kinds of issues has been more at the state level, except that I've been very involved in the national issues and trying to figure out how to move them forward. As ALA president, there is no question that a major role is to speak for the association, and that speech becomes a very important part of what Congress sees. We see it in the current president and past presidents, how important their words are. So I'm very committed to being able to move that forward. Thank you.